Shalom, peace. As always, this is Intelligent Hebrew, and I'm your brother Gabar. Today's lesson is Wake Up, Jacob. It's for our nation. And I'm putting this lesson together because when you hear brothers on the street and they street teaching, and you hear them say, Wake up, Jacob. We talking to the brothers. Of course, we talking to Israel. You so-called black people scattered to the four corners of the earth because of transatlantic and Arab slave trade. Yes, we talking to the brothers who don't know. The people who don't know that they Israel. They think they African Americans, black, Negroes, niggas, Moorish, Egyptian. What else? They think they're Republicans, Democrats, Crips, Bloods, gangster disciples, vice lords, right? We think we Christians and Baptists, Jehovah's Witness, Muslims, and all these other things, right? When the Most High says that we are the children of Israel. But until we wake up to who we really are, we call ourselves Jacob. Man, shout out to Brother Sam. He used to yell out, Wake up, Jacob, when we be down there. And it really hit home with me because it really said who we were really speaking to directly, right? So the word Jacob means to replace, displace, take the place of, to override, to usurp, overthrow, to remove, to unseat, to dethrone, eject, to fill someone's shoes. So these are just simple things. And so when I say Jacob, please understand, really what I'm saying is this is what we are. That we are just people who what? Overthrow. We remove. But really what we're supposed to be being is Israel. And Israel has a couple of meanings you could break down because Hebrew is a language where you may get a couple of meanings out of one word, but they all kind of mean the same thing, but it may read different. And one thing I know that Israel means Prince of Power with God. This is who we are. We have power with the Most High. He calls us his prince. We are his royalty. We are his children. And as those children and as that royalty, using that power, what are we supposed to be? What are we supposed to do? How do we do that, right? Let's get Exodus chapter 19, verse 5, and let's find out. Exodus chapter 19, verse 5 reads, Now, therefore, if you will obey my voice, so we got to obey his voice, obey my voice indeed, and keep my covenant, then ye shall be a peculiar treasure unto me above all people, for all the earth is mine. So it doesn't say that we will be equal at all. It says that we will be above. And I'm not speaking on no black supremacists. I'm speaking on some truth. Like the world's supposed to be run and governed by us, and we're supposed to run it and govern it by way of the Most High's law, statutes, and commandments. Now, when we open the Bible, most of the time we think is what? Religion. We don't think laws. When you hear the word commandments, you just think the 10 commandments, and then you can close the book, and then you think going to Sunday school is it. Well, no. He has a civil law. Civil means civilian or civilized, right? That's where we get that word, those two words from. The root word of those two words is civil. And he's telling us that these are words for us to live as a nation. And how do we live as a nation? Civilized and being civil. That's simple. We keep his law, statutes, and commandments. Let's read that again. Because I'm going to read verses 5 and 6. This is Exodus chapter 19, verse 5. Now, therefore, if you will obey my voice indeed, and keep my covenant, then ye shall be a peculiar treasure unto me above all people, for all the earth is mine. And ye shall be unto me, this is what you really want, and ye shall be unto me a kingdom of priests, a holy nation. So this is what he's saying. Holy means separate. We're supposed to be separate, different from the other people. And he says a kingdom of priests. That means the whole kingdom. That means the men, the women, and the children. We're supposed to be shining lights, representatives of the Most High every day. When they hear us and they want to ask us how we worship God, we're supposed to be able to give them that. When they say, is this right or wrong? You're supposed to be able to get them that because we are the kingdom of priests, right? He says, kingdom of priests and a holy nation. These are the words which thou shalt speak unto the children of Israel. He didn't say the Christian church. He didn't say the Catholic church. He didn't say Jehovah's Witness. He didn't say to the Nation of Islam. He didn't say to the Orthodox Islam. He said to the nation of Israel, to the children of Israel. It shouldn't be no discrepancy about that, right? Let's go to 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 9. We're going to spend a lot of time in the Old Testament, but I'm just getting these scriptures because they popped in my head immediately. So First Peter 2 and 9. This is the book of First Peter, chapter 2, verse 9. But ye are a chosen generation. So we're a chosen generation because my generation, the generation before me, the generation before them, and the generation before them, they revolted against what the things that we dealing with. They've been calling out to our people. Malcolm X, one of my favorites, been calling out to our people saying we got to rise up and wake up to see who we really are, our greatness, our beauty, our strength, our wonder, right? Now, he wasn't leading us back to the commandments of the Most High, but he was rousing us up. The scriptures say that the Lion of Judah will be roused up. He was rousing us up. The Panthers was coming out of Babylon, America with politics, and they understood those laws. And so they were saying we can carry our guns. No, you know what? Y'all not doing us right. We don't want you policing us. We'll police ourselves. You know what? We're gonna have a breakfast program for the children. They invented WIC. They all these things. You know what? It's legal for us to carry our rifle. Y'all got your rifles. We're gonna carry our rifles to make sure y'all don't mistreat us no more. And these are the things that were rousing us up, right? Martin Luther King. One of my other favorites, Marcus Garvey, right? Rousing us up, not leading us back to the commandments of the Most High. And that was the area. If you ever read Ezekiel 37, it goes into the valley of dry bones. And as it explains how the bones came together slowly but surely, you know, first they were just skeletons. Then they had ligaments and tendons. Then they had muscle. Then they had skin, but something was still missing. And then the Most High said, prophesy again and put this breath of life into them. What's the breath of life? This right here. These scriptures is your life, right? Why? Because it tells us, yes, it gives us moral understanding of how we should be as a person, morally, yes. But it also governs us as a nation of people with his law, statutes, command, with his civil law. As I said before, that's where we get the word civilized, right? So this is why he said we're going to be a chosen generation, because throughout those generations, we've always been trying to find it. He says a chosen generation. Then he says what? A royal priesthood. So we're going to be a priesthood, a royal priesthood. Royal means like you part of the king's house, part of the king's family. So we're going to be part of the king's family and the priesthood. Do you not see what he's saying? He's saying that we royalty and we are the priest. And that immediately should tell you that when you think about it, if you go to church, if you go to a mosque, the people who go up and teach, they're not the same as the congregation. The people who go up and teach are the leaders of the congregation. They lead the congregation. They tell them what's right and what's wrong. They try to bring them into truth, into light, and the true understanding. This is who we are supposed to be to the rest of the world, man. A kingdom of royal priesthood, right? He says, a holy nation, a peculiar people, that you should show forth the praises of him who hath called you out of darkness into his marvelous light, right? Man, that's simple and plain. Let's go to Deuteronomy. Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 4. And I'm going to start at verse 5. Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as the Lord my God commanded me. So this is Moses speaking to us, that you should do so in the land whether you possess to go, whether you go to possess it. He's telling us that this is the law on how we're supposed to govern ourselves as civilized people, as this royal righteous kingdom of priests. This is how we're supposed to be civilized as that royal righteous kingdom of priests. We are already civilized, but he's saying, no, that's cool that you civilized, but this is how you're going to be up here with it, up here with that civilization, by using the Most High's laws on how to govern ourselves civilized and morally, right? Because that's the problem. We lost our civility and we've lost our morals. Let's read on. He says, behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as the Lord my God commanded me, that you should do so in the land whither you go to possess it. So this is what we're supposed to, when we go in the land, this is how we're supposed to act. And he says, keep therefore and do them. Keep and do these laws. Keep and do these commandments. Why should we do that, Father? For this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations. So this is why we're supposed to be that nation of kingdom of priests, because the other nations will see us and say, man, obviously they're connected to God. Excuse me. Obviously they're connected to God, and we need to go forward with that. We need to deal with them. We need to learn from them. We need to follow them, right? He says, keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations, which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation, you see that? The nation is going to be saying it, man, this is a great nation. They're going to say, this great nation is a wise and understanding people. So, man, we shouldn't even be thinking about nothing else except keeping these commandments, because it's going to make us a wise and understanding nation. Nation. Notice it said nation. Let's go back to it, because I got some more on that I can get actually. I wasn't going to do it, but let's drop down to verse 7. Look what else they'll be saying. For what nation is there so great? See, they're talking about us as a nation. We need to stop being individuals, because the individualism is the reason why we kind of caught up in a lot of these different things. And us selling the poison to our people, prostituting our sisters prostituting themselves, right? He says, for what nation is there so great who had God so nigh unto them? Why is he nigh unto this? Because we have to keep that covenant. The covenant is, if we keep the covenant, then he'll provide and protect us and make us be this great nation. We just read that in Exodus 19, and then read it again in 1 Peter. Now here we are, and he's giving us a little bit more understanding in Deuteronomy, right? For who has God so nigh unto them as the Lord our God is in all things that we call upon him for? And what nation is there so great? See this? What nation is so great? Because ain't no nation great as us, even when we in our downfall. Nobody's stronger than us. Nobody faster than us. Nobody's smarter than us. Can nobody sing better than us, rap better than us, dance better than us? Like, can nobody play sports better than us? We the best. But all of that is just a small thing compared to what would happen if we unlock the greatness in us by keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments and being a righteous and holy people that the Most High intended for us to be, right? Let's get it. And what nation is there so great that has statutes and judgments so righteous as all this law? Didn't say commandments. It didn't say religion. It said law, because the law is going to lead us into living civilized. Not only just civilized, but we're going to be a holy kingdom of priests. That takes your civilization a little bit higher. Come on, man. This is who we are. We the best. We the greatest. Wake up, Jacob. What nation is there so great that has statutes and judgments so righteous as all this law, which I said before you this day? Look what he says. Only take heed to thyself. So be careful about yourself. Pay attention to what you're doing, what you're saying, what you're reading, what you're watching, what you're listening to, right? What you believing in. He says, take heed to thyself and keep thy soul diligently, lest you forget the things which thine eyes have seen, and lest they depart from thy heart all the days of thy life. So you better keep yourself diligent, study this word, learn these laws, unless they depart from your heart. He said, so that we don't do that, what should we do, Lord? He says, but teach these things, teach them, thy sons and thy sons' sons. So we're supposed to teach these things to our children, but we haven't done that. In fact, I know people who are gangbangers, and they raise their children to be gangbangers. I know women who are promiscuous. I don't want to call nobody no hoes or nothing like that, but I know people who, men and women who are promiscuous, and they teach their children to be these things. And what happens is they end up with all these children all over. These people grow up being promiscuous, sleeping with this man, sleeping with that woman, and then you have all these children, and you can't raise them all, or you're just not raising them all, right? And now your child has a chip on the shoulder. This is what we call daddy issues, right? Now your son is out here. He out here fouled this. He doing the same mistakes that you making because you wasn't there to teach him the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. Same thing with the ladies. It doesn't change. This is what we're supposed to do. Watch. Let's go to Jeremiah chapter 9. I'm going to start at verse 4. Excuse me if I'm going fast. But I have a lot I want to unpack. This probably be a 2-part lesson. Jeremiah chapter 9, verse 4. He says, take ye heed every one of his neighbor and trust ye not in any brother, for every brother will utterly supplant, and every neighbor will walk with slanders. You see that? Every brother will supplant. Take heed and don't trust them. Man, ain't this how we think right now? Why do you think it say neighbor? But it says neighbor. It's talking about us as a community. A community. So what we call it, the so-called black community, right? The African-American community, right? Wrong. We the children of Israel, the Israelite community. Y'all need to wake up, Jacob, and find out who you really are and unlock your power so that we can be put in our rightful status as the rulers and kings and priests of this earth. He says that every brother will utterly supplant. I mean, like, man, he gonna do it thoroughly. What does supplant mean? Did y'all forget? Let's get it one more time. Supplant means to replace. That's what he's saying, that every brother will replace another brother. Take over, man. No man should be trying to take over another man's home, right? Or overthrow. We should not be overthrowing each other. We should be rising up together. This is the problem. This is the unity we always talking about, y'all. Let's read. It says, and every neighbor will walk with slanders. We're going to be lying and slandering each other, right? We slander each other. Men slander each other for the women. Women slander each other for the men. We slander each other for money, for jobs, you know. Let's read Jeremiah chapter 9, verse 5. And they will deceive everyone his neighbor and will not speak the truth. Nah, we're not going to speak the truth. Even those of us who think we are righteous, we don't come back with the commandments. We don't come back with the laws. We tell them what we think. And a lot of times what we think is just plain old bad advice. Oh, brother, you know what? She got a man that ain't your friend, right? And we think that's good advice. Or we might give the advice of, you know what? You got kids to feed, right? And you need to come flip these birds, or you need to come hit this lick, right? This is kind of stuff we do. This is the poison that we put in our people. This is the slander. This is not the truth. What's the truth? And I ain't talking about no religion. Come back to the Most High's law, statutes, commandments. It's a way of life. It's not a religion, right? He says, and they will deceive everyone his neighbor and will not speak the truth. They have taught their tongue to speak lies and weary themselves to commit iniquity. Iniquity is wickedness, wrong, evil doing, errors, right? So this is what he's saying. We teach, he says, they weary themselves to commit iniquity. What does it mean to be weary? Tired. We wear ourselves out trying to do wickedness. We make ourselves tired we consume ourselves with wickedness. What drugs we could sell, how many women or men we could sleep with, who we can get over, who head I'm finna bust because they didn't offended me out in the street, right? This is the stuff we doing, and we can't wait to be that. Something wrong with us, man. And what's wrong with us is we lack the spirit of the Most High. We lack those laws, statutes, commandments, his guidance, and his direction. Let's read Jeremiah chapter 9, verse 6. Thine habitation is in the midst of deceit. Your habitation is where you live. He's saying where we live is in the midst of deceit. What you mean it's in the midst of deceit? Everything is false. Oh, we Africans. Nope. Oh, guess what? I'm an American. Nope. Oh, I'm a gangster crip. No, you ain't. I'm a Republican. You really ain't that. I'm a Democrat. You really ain't that. You're none of those things. You are the Most High's child, the children of Israel, a nation of kings and priests. We're supposed to be ruling this thing. Wake up, Jacob. Jeremiah 9, verse 6. Thine habitation is in the midst of deceit. Through deceit, they refuse to know me, saith the Lord. So we refuse to know the Most High. Why? Because we've been deceived by these religions. These religions tell us God is all loving. And then you question, well, if God is all loving, why do we deal with the things we deal with? Because the scripture don't say the Most High is all loving. Oh, the Most High gonna forgive me. Yeah, he gonna forgive you. That don't mean you ain't gonna get your just punishment. We don't ever even think about that, huh? You forgive your child when they do something wrong. That don't mean they don't get in trouble, right? Simple and plain. All you parents out there, y'all know what I'm saying. Look at verse 7. Therefore, thus saith the Lord of hosts. You know what? No, I only want 6 right now. Drop down to verse 8. Their tongue is an arrow shot out. So it's an arrow that shot out. What happens when the arrow goes shot and shoots out? It's gone. It's going to hurt something. It's going to hit something, right? Their tongue is an arrow shot out. It speaketh deceit. One speaketh peaceably to his neighbor with his mouth. And if you know anything about the rap culture back in the 80s and 90s and early 2000s, you heard a lot of rappers say, yo, peace, peace, God, peace, especially on the East Coast rappers, yo, peace. A lot of rappers would end their songs with peace. But then the song, the very next song or the image that you putting out is you destroying your brother, you being a killer, you being a dope dealer, right? We understand these things for what they are. Don't act like y'all don't know. Their tongue is an arrow shot out. It speaketh deceit. One speaketh peaceably to his neighbor with his mouth, but in his heart he layeth his weight. So in his heart, he's really waiting for him to be what we call it in LA. We say, oh, he got caught slipping. They call it lacking today. So this is what we do. We can't wait to see a brother slipping. Yeah, we may say peace. We may speak, we may act like that we good people, but we can't wait to get over on each other. On each other. We're supposed to be a righteous nation, a nation of kings and priests. So we shouldn't be trying to get over on nobody, but especially not our own brothers and sisters, y'all. Right? Let's stay in Jeremiah 9, drop down to verse. Let's read verse 9 as well. Shall I not visit them for these things? So the Most High, like I just said, you're going to get your punishment. And this is why we're being oppressed. This is why life is so hard for so-called black people scattered to the four corners of the earth. You so-called black people scattered to the four corners of the earth because of the transatlantic and Arab slave trade. This is why life is hard for you. Maybe not you individually, but look at your people as a nation. Nation. So keep the word nation in your mind. When I say you, I'm not talking about nobody individually. Keep the word nation in your mind throughout this lesson. He says, shall I not visit them for these things, saith the Lord? Shall not my soul be avenged on such a nation as this? He's talking about us as a nation. So when one individual, or we got a few people in the black community, millionaires, billionaires, right, that do well for themselves. But that's not, but us by and large and as a whole, we still down pressing, oppressed. Let's stay in Jeremiah 9. Let's go to verse 13. And the Lord saith, because thou hast forsaken my law. See what I'm saying? He's talking to the nation. Because we forsook his law, which I set before them, and have not obeyed my voice. What do we read when we opened up with Exodus 19? He said, you got to obey his voice indeed. And have not obeyed my voice, neither walked therein. We haven't walked in this commandment. A lot of brothers and sisters go to church or go to the mosque, and we read, and we know about Moses. We know about Christ. You know, we know about the disciples and the apostles. We know about that stuff. But do we walk in those commandments and in those laws, in the Most High's righteousness? Nah, we don't. Those of us who wear the fringes and call ourselves Israel, we trying to do it. We mastering it. We're learning it every day. The scripture says, rehearse the righteous acts. And that's what we do every day when we keep the commandment. Every Friday and Saturday, when we prep for the Sabbath day, and then Sabbath come, and then we together, and we don't buy, we don't sell, we studying, or we out there trying to teach it. We still rehearsing, we still practicing, we still making our mistakes. Please don't get high-minded, Israel. We still making our mistakes. We still learning different things, right? But we there. We getting that time in. So he says, the Lord saith, because they have forsaken my law, which I set before them, and have not obeyed my voice, neither walked therein, walked in his ways. Verse 14. But have walked after the imagination of their own heart, and after Baalim, which their fathers taught them. Baalim is an ancient God that the Most High told us several times that we shouldn't be worshiping. And that's what we do. We don't realize that we worship Baal in a lot of ways, because in a lot of ways we don't worship Baal per se, but we worship in a false god, worshiping money, jewelry, material things, right? Well, what's a new god today? Likes, follows, right? We don't even realize that. But we do anything for likes and follows nowadays, and it's ridiculous. It's sad to see some of the things our young men and our young women are doing out here for likes and follows, for money. Let's skip to verse 20. Staying in Jeremiah 9. Staying in Jeremiah 9. Drop down to verse 20. He says, "Yet hear the word of the Lord, O ye women, and let your ear receive the word of his mouth, and teach your daughters wailing, and every one her neighbor lamentation." So it's telling our young women and it's telling our women that they need to learn to humble themselves and cry out. It's saying that not only is it saying that, but it's also saying you gonna cry out. He's saying, yeah, you finna cry out. Don't worry about it. You finna learn. You finna get it. How are we gonna get it, Lord? He says, for death is come up into our windows, and is entered into our palaces, to cut off the children from without, and the young men from the streets. And what is this talking about? It's talking about your drive-by shooting. Whether it's be sitting on the corner or hanging out at the park or something. I know in my neighborhood, we all kicked it at the park. And you'll be at the park, we'd be outside hooping or something. And next thing you know, pow, 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 pow. Man, the bloods just rolled through and shot up the park. Me and my closest friends, we'll be walking home, and it'll be nighttime. You know, we can hear the shooting, and we'll know, like, oh, that's a couple of blocks away. We need to hurry up and get in. We used to go up to the park. Sometime I went to the park to go hoop one time, and one of the older homies was like, "Nah, man, you need to go home. It ain't cool right now. It's hot up here." Right? This is what it's saying. Look at what it says. For death is come up into our windows. Man, how many times have a stray going through somebody's window and hit somebody in that house? And it's entered into our palaces, in our homes, y'all. You know why this is happening? Because we're not keeping those laws. We doing some of this same. We doing some of this stuff to ourselves. It don't matter if you're in a red or a blue neighborhood. We doing it to ourselves. We the same people. Some people be related and they be from opposing hoods. What kind of mess is that, man? Let's read on. He says, coming to our palaces, to cut off the children from without, and the young men from the streets. I don't even think y'all even need me to break that down. Our young men are in the streets. It's destroying our children. Little Keisha and little Nook and them and all that, right? I know I'm just using little stupid hood ghetto names, but y'all know what I'm saying. Stay in Jeremiah. Let's go back. Staying in Jeremiah, but you're going to go back a couple of chapters. Go to Jeremiah chapter 4. We're going to go to verse 22. Jeremiah chapter 4, verse 22. And it reads, "For my people is foolish. They have not known me. They are sottish children, and they have none understanding. They are wise to do evil, but to do good, they have no knowledge." This is who we are. We don't know good. Romans 7 and 12 tell us that the commandment is good. So we don't know good. We don't know what is good according to the Most High. We know what's good to us. What's good to us? I'm from the set. I got stripes. My name ring out in these streets, right? We love that kind of stuff. What our women love to say, excuse my French, I'm a bad bitch, right? They love that kind of stuff. I'm a boss bitch. They love that. What? Nah, you a goddess out here. You're supposed to be an empress out here. We're supposed to be leading these people, the whole world. But you want to be a boss bitch. Man, cut it out. Your name you want to ring out for being someone who murder your own people. Man, them other nations laughing at you. You doing their job for them. We got to do better. How do we do better? Coming back to these commandments. That's why he says, they are wise to do evil, but to do good, they have no knowledge. Romans 7 and 12 tells us that the commandment is good. Come on, man. We wise to do evil. We know how to sell rock. We know how to sell pills. We know how to dip cigarettes in the Sherman and sell it to our people so they can run down the street butt naked, right? We know how to get drunk all day long. We know how to whore out the sisters. Sisters know how to whore themselves out. Sisters know how to exploit a man for what he got by whoring herself out. And both of them look bad when they do it. Wise to do evil, but to do good, we have no knowledge. Man, look at what the Most High is saying to us. Let's go to Second Timothy chapter 3. 2 Timothy chapter 3. And we're going to go to verse 1. 2 Timothy chapter 3. This know also, and in the last days, perilous times shall come. Perilous meaning harsh or scary, right? Let's look it up to make sure. Full of danger or risk. That's what perilous means. Full of danger or risk. So we'll say 2 Timothy 3 and 1. This know also that in the last days, dangerous times shall come. Why will they be dangerous, Father? For men shall be lovers of their own selves. That's speaking on homosexuality. That's speaking on these likes and follows, right? Covetous, boasters, proud. What we boast about? How many women we didn't knock down? You know, who we didn't beat up, who we robbed. Listen to the music. All it is boasting about things that are negative. Killing each other. Destroying our people with drugs, destroying our sisters, whoring them out, sisters to the point where they whore themselves out. Even if you're not whoring yourself out, if you got a OnlyFans, man, that's a form of it. It says proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful and unholy, without natural affection, man. And that goes everywhere. That goes into a lot of different things, but that goes into how we pretend like we cool with one another, and really we just stabbing each other in the back, robbing each other, sleeping with each other's spouses. Truce breakers, false accusers, incontinent, fierce. Look at this. Despisers of those that are good. Man, go tell anybody, man, you a child of Israel and you need to walk right. And you know what happened? They gonna clown you, man. I ain't trying to hear that. I ain't about that. I'm gonna get right with God one day. I hear that all the time. Sometimes if you, I know a young lady that she trying to be as righteous as she could be, and it's hard for her because she's a young lady. She's like of college age, and just living the life, just trying to be a regular college student. You know, just not even saying I'm finna go out and do everything that y'all are doing, but I hang out with y'all. I speak to y'all. I'm speaking as her, right? But because she's righteous, she is what? They despise her because she's trying to be a good and righteous young woman. You are the goody two shoe. Right? I know that's an old term, but y'all know what I'm saying, right? Watch this. Verse 4. Traitors. Didn't we just read in Jeremiah 9 where he said, don't trust no brother and be careful of your neighbor, right? So he says traitors, heady, high-minded. We feel like if you're not living in the life that I think you should live, if you don't have the things that I think you should have, you know, well, I got this car. All right, my car is a 2010. What? Your car 2010? Psh, you beneath me. What? You got a Ralph Lauren polo, but that polo is from 2000. 2020. Right? We're gonna make it a little bit more newer. That polo is from 2020. I ain't. Wait, how much you make? You broke, right? What? Fool, I pay rent and bills. I'm responsible is what you mean to say, right? High-minded. Look at this. Lovers of pleasure more than lovers of God. Man, come on, y'all. Lovers of pleasure more than we love God. If you tell a brother or a sister that, says, like, telling a sister that she's supposed to wear a dress or a skirt is offensive to her, she's not going to say, oh, I see how that's modest. I'm not even saying that she got to go run home and jump in the dress, but she won't even let it come out her mouth. Yeah, that's modest. I see how that could be modest. I see how that could be right. Telling brothers that we the children of Israel, we got to keep the commandments and the laws of the Most High. We don't want to hear that. I'm this or I'm that. I get money, right? I remember one dude, we was downtown and dude's like, y'all all broke. Like, brother, I think everybody up here is employed, and a couple of them brothers have their own businesses, but we broke. But this dude was getting off the train. I got all this money. Well, you being a boaster right now, right? That's what we read in verse 2. He being a boaster. The very next thing after that is what? Proud. Come on, man. What are we doing? What's wrong with us appreciating righteousness? What's wrong with us loving to do good? What's wrong with us loving God? Let's go back to Jeremiah, you guys. Jeremiah chapter 5. You go to Jeremiah 5. I'm going to start at verse 1. The book of Jeremiah chapter 5, verse 1. Run ye to and fro through the streets of Jerusalem, and see now, and know, and seek in the broad places thereof. If you could find a man, he's saying a man, just one. If you could find a man, if there be any that execute judgment and seeketh the truth, and I will pardon it. Because the Most High was coming to lay it down. He's finna come put some judgment on us. He said, so I tell you what, Jeremiah, if you find one man that does what? Look what it says. If you could find one man, if there be any that execute judgment, he ain't talking about, your judgment. He's saying righteous judgment. Where does righteous judgment come from, you guys? The law. When you go to court and they say, you got community service, that's your judgment. That comes from the law. You got to serve a 3 to 9. That's the law. That's the judgment of the law. The law, you guys. Right? He says, if that seeketh truth, what's the truth? The scripture said that word is truth. Let's get that real quick so we know what the truth is. There's John 17:17. It says, sanctify them through thy word is truth. Boom. John 17:17, it tells you that the Most High's word is truth. His laws and his commandment is the truth. So it says they don't seek truth. He said if they execute judgment and seek the truth, his word, then he will pardon us, right? Let's read on. Verse 2. And though they say the Lord live, surely they swear falsely. So even though some of our people, we go to church and we say we love God, we love Jesus, man, look at these TV evangelists. Creflo Dollar and TD Jakes. I don't want to deal with the other nations and their TV evangelists, so I'm just going to stop with those two. But y'all know who I'm talking about. These brothers swear they love God, but they ain't going to tell you no commandments. They ain't going to tell you what God said is good and what's bad and what's right and what's wrong. That's a bad pastor, not giving you no truth, right? That's why they say, though they say the Lord lives, sure. So though they be like, I love the Lord and the Lord. What is it? What are they really saying, Father? Surely they swear falsely. Read verse 3. Oh Lord, are not thine eyes upon the truth? John 17:17. His word is truth. Are you not paying attention to what these people saying? Are they speaking this truth? Next time you go to church, ask them, why we celebrate Easter? And see if they give you the truth. Don't God say don't celebrate nothing to the Queen of Heaven or Astarte? That's where we get the word Easter from. Don't the Most High say don't have a Christmas tree in Jeremiah 10? Didn't the Most High say keep his Sabbath day? Because it's a sign that that if you worship the one and true living God, that's in Exodus 31. Right? It says, oh Lord, are not thine eyes upon the truth? Thou hast stricken them, but they have not grieved. So the Most High hit us with slavery, Jim Crow, civil rights, all the way up to now. What we calling it now? Black Lives Matter, right? He has stricken us. Statistics show that we still don't get paid as much as our white counterparts, no matter the degree. Statistics show that we get that is the majority of us in prison. Statistics show that we get a harsher sentence no matter what, from the time that I can remember. And I've only been here 40 plus years. This is what's I'm just saying statistics. I can't give you the exact statistics. If y'all want them, man, y'all Google them. But this is us being stricken. We got high rates of mental illness, depression, and suicide. We got high rates of these different diseases, diabetes, high blood pressure, and such the like as those things right there, right? We're being stricken. Thou hast stricken them, but they have not grieved. We don't even care. We keep eating the wrong stuff. We still voting for them. Believing in that we gonna make it in this world, in this society, the way they saying that we gonna do it. The American dream. You work hard, you save your money, you get your house, and man, come on, man. Come on, man. We should know better. He's stricken us. It's hard for us to get home loans. It's hard for us to get business loans. But people from China, Korea, different Africans, people from Ukraine, so on and so forth, they can come over here and get those loans immediately. Man, we citizens from this place. We from this place. Born and raised here, right? Our people been here 400 plus years. But it's hard for us to get those loans. We've been stricken, but we don't grieve. Thou hast consumed them, but they have refused to receive correction. They have made their faces harder than a rock. They have refused to return. What does it mean to make your face harder than a rock? He said, where's your face at? It's on your head. Come on, all you parents. What's the Most High calling us? Hard-headed, rock-head. My mom used to say, y'all got some rock heads. Rock-head little boy. Love you, Mom. But that's what it is. That's what it is, y'all. We are hard-headed people. We don't want that. We refuse to see or hear the correction the Most High has given us. Dietary law. What is that for? So that we be healthy. We don't want to hear that. I like pork. Pork good. I can't eat turkey bacon. So eat some beef bacon. I can't stop eating. I might be able to stop eating pork, but I can't stop eating lobster and crab and shrimp. Come on, man. For your health, you can't stop doing it. This is what he's saying. This is why we got all these sicknesses, and we won't stop it. We won't hear the correction. Y'all go watch the movie Soul Food. Big Mama had to get her foot, I believe her foot or her hand or her leg cut off, right? She didn't stop eating it. And then when she died, the family went back and ate all the stuff that got her damn foot cut off. Boy, we don't receive the correction. Wake up, Jacob. They have made their faces harder than a rock. Because why? Because they have refused to return. We refuse to return to the Most High. Let's read verse 4. Therefore I said, surely these are poor. See what he's calling us? Surely these are poor. They are foolish, for they know not the way of the Lord, nor the judgment of their God. We don't even understand. And so this is what we out here doing. When you see brothers out there on the corner and they telling y'all about Deuteronomy 28 or Leviticus 26, and they saying that we under these particular curses, these are generational curses. It don't just happen to you. It's happened to your parents and their parents before them and their parents' parents before them. We're under these generational curses because we don't want to hear the Most High. We don't want to eat good, so we're under generational curses of bad health. We don't want to be right by our men or by our spouse. So this is why we have generational curses of nobody being married as long as Big Mama and Papa, right? Just don't happen no more. Because what we doing? We breaking all the commandments. And so there has to be a repercussion for all the commandments. So every commandment we break, there's a repercussion for that. You didn't want to worship the Most High? Okay, cool. So now you're going to be led astray into all these different religions. So much so now that we're confused. And I hear people say it all the time. I don't deal in religion made by man. If the Bible was written by man, why it don't cater to everything man wants? Answer me that. If the Bible written by man and it's for man and by man, then why it don't allow us to whore out the sisters? Every man want to do that, right? Why don't allow homosexuality? Because that's what the world about right now, right? Why don't allow sisters to be out here with 3-4 men at one time? Why don't allow us to rob and steal? This is what we want. It's written by man. Y'all need to wake up, Jacob. We don't want to deal with the Most High, so he gave us up to our vain imaginations. This is why it said that in Jeremiah chapter 9. Let's keep going. Stay in Jeremiah chapter 5. Let's go to verse 7. Jeremiah chapter 5, verse 7. How shall I pardon thee for this? So the Most High is asking, like, how am I supposed to excuse all these things that you've done? Yeah, maybe if you broke a commandment in your error and you didn't know no better, but y'all know better. We know better as a nation. We know we ain't supposed to be doing the stuff that we doing. We know we out of pocket, out of control, right? He says, how shall I pardon thee for this? Thy children have forsaken me. So what did he say we're supposed to do? Teach your children and your children's children. And what did we didn't teach our children that. We didn't teach our children to obey the Sabbath. We gave them Christianity, which says Sunday is the Sabbath. So now we got generations and generations and generations who are going to church on the wrong day, worshiping the sun, and we don't even know it. Not the S-O-N, but the S-U-N when I say worship the sun. That's why it's called Sunday. We don't keep the Sabbath. That's why he says, thy children have forsaken me and sworn by them that are no gods, like the sun, S-U-N. That's why you go to church on Sunday, Sunday service, right? When I had fed them to the full, they then committed adultery and assembled themselves by troops in the harlots' houses. Now, please don't be offended when I say this, but brothers, y'all know what we're going to say. The hoes is in the church. That's where the hoes at. What the women love to say, you want to find a man, go to church, right? This is what it's talking about. We assemble ourselves in the harlots' houses. We are there, not to get filled with the Spirit, not to learn about the Most High, but to find someone. That's an error. Let me break down sworn by them that are no gods. Also, like I said before, that's our material things. The money, the chain, the clothes, the car, the house, right? The things that money can buy. We love it so much and we make it be so important to us. And we put the Most High and his word and his law and his way, not even on the back burner. We throw it in the trash. Let's stay in Jeremiah, y'all. Staying in Jeremiah. Okay, I told y'all we was going to be in the Old Testament a lot. Let's go to Jeremiah chapter 18. Excuse me. Jeremiah 18, start at verse 11. This is the book of Jeremiah chapter 18, verse 11. Now, therefore, go to speak to the men of Judah, you so-called black people scattered to the four corners of the earth because of the transatlantic and Arab slave trade. You are the people of Judah. You are Judah. The same tribe of Israel that Christ came out of. The same tribe of Israel that David, who killed Goliath, came out of. The same tribe of Israel that the wisest king ever, King Solomon, came out of. We come from these people. But we don't represent that. We don't act like that. We're not even, I don't even know if we're proud of that. I am. But y'all need to wake up, Jacob, and understand what's the blood running in your veins. The greatness that's there, the spirit that's in there, to unlock your power. We unlock our power by keeping the covenant, keeping those commandments, walking in those laws. Let's keep reading. Jeremiah 18:11. Now, therefore, go to speak to the men of Judah and to the inhabitants of Jerusalem. That's the rest of our brothers and sisters. Saying, thus saith the Lord, behold, I frame evil against you and despise a device against you. Return ye now, everyone from his evil way, and make your ways and your doings good. Right? Look at verse 12. And they said, there is no hope. We don't even have hope. We don't believe that this is going to save us. We don't believe that following the Most High is going to save us. Why don't we? Because according to religion, all we got to do is believe. According to religion, we under faith and grace. We don't got to worry about his commandment and his laws. According to religion, Christ nailed all that to the cross. According to religion, man, we've been deceived. We've been lied to. And this is why we don't have hope. We don't believe that the God of the Bible is real. Some of us don't believe in no religion, no God. right? My way. A lot of our people believe in our own way. It says, thus saith the Lord, behold, I frame evil against you. He framed evil against us, children of Israel. Return ye now, everyone from his way. He's saying, and come back to me. What are y'all doing? Come back. Come on. He's your dad that's saying, come on, man. Come back in here. What you doing right now? And make your ways and your doings good. And what did we do? Verse 12. And they said, so this is what we say right now to this day. There is no hope. We don't believe. We have no faith in the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Israel. Some of us who do believe in God, we got faith in white Jesus. And we don't even know it. And you can go to a black church, but if you believing in that same doctrine, and you still believing in the same white Jesus, that Jesus is coming to love everybody. No, when the Most High send Christ back, it's judgment time. Everybody gonna bow. Everybody gonna have fear in their heart. Everybody gonna be worried about the things that they've done over their lifetime. Even the other nations, yes. And when we are found worthy, if we are found worthy, he'll put us on the right hand. And all you're gonna see is Israelites. It's gonna be no everybody. Ain't gonna be all religions or all nations, because the world gonna be governed by us. Wake up, Jacob. Come back to yourself. Make your ways and your doings right and good. But what did we say? They said there is no hope, but we will walk after our own devices. I'm going to do it my way. We're going to go after our religion, after our education, after what the homies told us. You know, some brothers out here, they submit to their women, and we got to do it all, and they got to do what their women say, right? We run around and she say, nah, we ain't doing that. Some brothers, I know plenty of brothers who came into this truth and started studying, but the woman they was with wasn't with it. And so they left the truth. We will walk after our own devices, and we will everyone do the imagination of his heart. Look at this. What's the imagination of our heart? Pimping out our women, ladies pimping themselves out, brothers getting over on each other, stealing from each other, robbing each other, killing each other, beating each other, abusing one another, abusing our own selves personally as individually. So we can get likes and follows, abusing our own selves as a nation, black on black crime, right? Drop down to verse 7. No, that's not what I want. That's not what I want. Let's go to Micah, the book of Micah, chapter 7. That's what I wanted. The book of Micah, chapter 7. Micah chapter 7, we're going to start at verse 2. This is the book of Micah chapter 7, verse 2. The good man is perished out of the earth. You see that? The Most High is like, man, I ain't even no more good people. If you see a brother wearing fringes and he trying to be a righteous Israelite, we not good. The scripture said all our righteousness is as filthy rags. We trying to be good. We trying to obtain righteousness. We're trying to master this so that we can be the ones who help the brothers who are calling themselves Israel are trying to master the righteousness so we can reach out and help brothers who are Jacob and don't know no better and pull them up to the status of Israel so that we can push each other up and lift each other up to this righteous nation, a kingdom, a righteous nation and a kingdom of priests. The good man is perished. This is Micah 7, verse 2. The good man is perished out of the earth, and there is none upright among men. They all lie in wait for blood. They hunt every man his brother with a net. This, you can break this down and show this how this is slavery, but this is us today. We can't wait to get over on each other. We lie in wait for that. When I say lie in wait, that means we hide in the cut and wait till we see a brother that's not paying attention. I had a friend from New York, and he said that people who come to New York, when they're looking up at the tall buildings, they know that's what we finna pickpocket. That's what we finna rob. Come on, what kind of mindset is that? What kind of mindset is that? You got to be careful when you ask for directions. Excuse me, brother, do you know where so-and-so, what this street or that street is? Because they're looking to get over. You can't like a sister nowadays and try to build with her because she may get you robbed. She may not get you robbed. She may rob you herself one way or another. You can't like a sister because she looking at you for a good time and you looking at her for longevity. Now you maybe she your baby mama and she's a wicked woman, and now she's giving you a hard time. Don't want you to see the kids. She wants you to pay more than what you already paying. Or she break your heart because she got 2-3 other dudes lined up, right? Or yeah, she do rob you and steal from you. Or she do get you robbed by her friends, by the other dudes that she dealing with, something like that. This is the nation that we are. What did he say? We don't know good, but we are wise to do evil. Wake up, Jacob. This is Micah 7, verse 2. The good man is perished out of the earth, and there is none upright among men. They all lie in wait for blood. They hunt every man his brother with a net. Verse 3. That they may do evil with both hands earnestly. Let's define earnestly. Earnest. Serious minded, steady, intense, committed, dedicated, wholehearted, sincere, devout, full-hearted, passionate, urgent. So he's saying that they may do evil with both hands wholeheartedly, sincerely. We're going to do evil with both our hands sincerely? This is who we are? Yes. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I grew up in an era where they called them strawberries, where it'd be women who sell their bodies for rock, cocaine, right? And it was bad enough you were selling to prison, but now you're going excuse me, it's bad enough you're going to sell her the poison that was going to destroy her, but now you're going to whore her out for that poison as well. And a lot of times they whore it out to more than one person. Just wickedness. Just wickedness. We ought to be ashamed of ourselves, Israel. We ought to be ashamed of yourself, Jacob. That they may do, starting over, Micah 7, verse 3, that they may do evil with both hands earnestly. The prince asked and the judge asked for reward. So these are talking about our leaders. They're not there to lead us. They want money. So what happens? Well, you ever wonder why every time it's an issue, somebody like Al Sharpton, right? Back in my day, it was Jesse. When I was younger, it was Jesse Jackson. Before Jesse Jackson, who was it? It was, I believe it was MLK, right? And along them, the whole time, there was also who? A Farrakhan. And these people do what? I'm not saying that these people don't have the knowledge. They do, because they do have the knowledge, but they've picked their side. That's why it says the prince asked and the judge asked for a reward. They want to get paid. So what happens? They come out and tell us, oh, you know, some young people be killed or wrongfully imprisoned or beat up by the police or something. What do? We come together, make a bunch of T-shirts. We hold up signs, we march. But it's never come back to the Most High's laws, because the Most High is telling us, man, leave these people alone. We ain't supposed to be dealing with them. The Most High saying, man, put your faith in me. But instead, what we do, we put our faith in our politics and we go vote some other heathen above us and let him be our representative. And let him speak for us. Let him defend us. And that's an error. Why would we put someone who doesn't have why would you put someone who doesn't have your children best interest over you and your children? Over your politics, over you and your children, over the schooling of you and your children, over the pay and employment in your community for you and your children. Why would you do that? Because that's what we do when we vote. I believe I don't have an issue with voting per se. You want to vote for different different things for school or street lights or whatever, that kind of, man, that's your business. But when we voting for the president, the mayor, the governor, and all of that, I thoroughly disagree with that and don't believe in it. If you believe in your heart that has worked, go back and pay attention to when George Bush ran for president. He didn't win. but they made it seem like he did, and it was obvious to the American public back then. Wake up, Jacob. Politics ain't our way. Micah 7:3 from the top. That they may do evil with both hands sincerely. The prince asked and the judge asked for a reward. They want to get paid. They get paid to tell us to be quiet. They get paid to tell us to silently march. They get paid to tell us to turn the other cheek. They get paid. And then think about it. Once after we do so many marches, after they do so many speeches, you don't see them no more. And that issue is no longer dealing. And they don't deal with that issue no more. That's it. You know, you ain't heard Black Lives Matter in how long? Because the issue is not there anymore. But so does that mean Black lives don't matter anymore? Does that mean that police brutality don't exist no more? Man, get out of here. Yeah, it do. And we know that. I'm not done with the lesson, but we're going to have to close it out in a couple of minutes. I'm going to give you a couple of more though. That Micah 7:3 from the top, that they may do evil with both hands earnestly, sincerely. The prince asked and the judge asked for a reward. And the great man, so even the greatest of us, we've fallen off. We can't trust nobody. You know who we can't trust? The Most High and his word, his prophets, Isaiah, Ezekiel, Jeremiah, Hosea, Joel, Obadiah, Zechariah, Zephaniah. Who else? Who I'm leaving out? Moses, right? Yo, Christ. It says, and the great man, he uttered his mischievous desire, so they wrap it up. They all want to get paid. They all sold us out, y'all. Let's read verse 4. The best of them is as a briar. A briar is a fruit that has thorns on it, really big, long, strong thorns. So if you try to pick this fruit, it may stick you. It's not that it may stick you, it's going to stick you. You're going to get stuck. You're going to get stabbed by those thorns. And even if you can pick the fruit off of the tree and you get to a point where you are right, when you try to peel this fruit, guess what? It's covered in thorns. So now you're going to have to stick yourself just to get to the peeling. He said, what? The best of them is as a briar, as a fruit that's going to hurt you, is what he's saying. The most upright is sharper than a thorn hedge. The day of thy watchman and thy visitation coming. Now shall be their perplexity. So he's saying no matter what the righteous and the most upright person, you just can't trust them no more. We're not good for nothing. What did he say? We're a nation of people who are wise to do evil, but to do good, we don't have no knowledge. Even our upright, even our good, even our judges and princes, they just want to get paid so they can do what they want to do. That's why he says in the bottom line in verse 3, he says, and the great man uttereth his mischievous desire. What does mischievous mean? It means naughty, bad, misbehavior, bad behavior, misconduct, right? Nonsense. Look at this. Devilry. I didn't even know that. Shenanigans. So it's saying that bad desires. This is what our most upright and our most good people do. I hate to bring it up. I ain't gonna even go into it. I'm not even gonna go into it, y'all. Let's keep reading. That's why he says is sharper than verse 4. The best of them is as a briar. The most upright is sharper than a thorn hedge. The day of thy watchmen, the people who's supposed to be watching over us, our political leaders, our religious leaders, those are our watchmen. And thy visitation cometh. Now shall be their perplexity. What does it mean when you're perplexed? No, I'm gonna look it up. It means to be baffled or puzzled, to be confused, worried, to not understand. So he's saying, now gonna be your time for your confusion. right? Your worry, your confusion and worry at the same time is what it is saying. That's the perplexity. So then what does he say? This is why we wonder if God loves us, if I'm a child of God, if God is real, then why do all these things happen to us? Well, he's telling you, I can't allow y'all to just do what y'all want. Y'all can't just be this wicked nation. We read that where he said, man, am I supposed to pardon you for this? No. What did he say? Am I supposed to pardon you? You know what? If you turn, if you make your ways good and your doings good, then I got you. But what did we say? I don't have no hope in the Most High. I don't believe in that. This is what we just read. We read this just a few scriptures ago. I'm gonna give y'all 10 more minutes, and then we'll have to do a part 2. He says, trust ye not in a friend, and put ye not confidence in the guide. Keep the doors of thy mouth from her that lieth in thy bosom. For the son dishonoreth the father, the daughter rise up against her mother, the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law, and a man's enemies are the men of his own house. Yes, it is talking about your own house personally, because it's, for whatever reason it is, it's a lot of strife in our own house, with our own siblings, with our cousins and our uncles, and so on and so forth. But it's also talking about us as a nation. Remember that we talking about a nation in this one. I'm just showing y'all the obvious, the stuff that we already know that we wrong, but I'm just showing y'all that the Most High already said that this is what we're going to do. I'm going to close out right there, and I'm going to pick it up on part 2 right there. This is Intelligent Hebrew. I'm your brother Gabar. And I pray that this planted the seed or watered the grass or tilled the ground. As always, I give all honor, praise, and thanks to the Most High. And I want none for myself. See y'all part 2. Peace.